Yo YouTube, what is going on? You've got Techno here, coach of the Carolina Pantherians, and we are bringing you our Week 10 team builder versus Greg and his Los Angeles Clefables for the GBA D League. Now, Greg is a very good pal of mine, so I'm very excited to be playing him in this pretty important match because basically the winner of this game gets the playoffs essentially. I feel just in terms of like the longevity of the season, Greg probably deserves it more than me, so taking it away from him would be kind of unfortunate because he is a good pal of mine. However, I still do want to try my hardest to make sure that I can get this win right here because beating him would be pretty cool for me. I don't think I've ever lost to him in an actual league game before, so definitely don't want to lose to him now, and just want to make sure that I am able to kind of like prove myself that I could make the playoffs this season. So let's just see what he has on his team. He has Tapu Koko, which is a Z user, Greninja, Mega Scizor, Gliscor, Gudra, Seismitoad, Mienshao, Yanmega, Musharna, which is also a Z user, Quilladin, and Heatran. So very interesting team overall. Definitely has some nice cores. That Mega Scizor, Gliscor, Heatran core is definitely pretty annoying for me. So I gotta find some pretty good ways to break through that. Tapu Koko is obviously such an offensive beast, so I'm pretty nervous about fighting that thing. Everything else, though, I feel is pretty manageable. Gliscor is a little bit annoying, but I kind of went into this game with a little bit of a just really good predictions on what I thought he would bring. I definitely thought that the Monzo he would bring would be Tapu Koko, Greninja, Mega Scizor, Gliscor, Mienshao, and Seismitoad. If anything else came, I was going to be pretty confused as to why it came. I thought maybe Gudra could have come, but overall, these were the Mons that I did expect to come in prep. Now, I did not actually take the necessary precautions to make sure I did have the right tools for every single one of these Mons. For example, the Mienshao. You guys will see I do not have perfect coverage for Mienshao. However, for most other Mons on his team, I do feel like I am pretty well prepared for them. I did obviously prepare for the whole team, but these were the Mons that I did focus on the most, barring the Mienshao. So, yeah. There's that. So let's just get right into what our first mon is. So our first mon is going to be our Stealth Rocker, which is our Nidoking with Citrus Berry, Earth Power, Flamethrower, Ice Beam, and Stealth Rocks. Now, this Citrus Berry set is very good for a few things. One, if he's Nature's Madness or Guardian of Alola on his Tapu Koko, I'm able to get that Citrus Berry and be totally fine there. If he's Brave Bird, I'm also totally fine with that. And this thing also just gets health versus mons like Mega Scizor. If it does go for Bullet Punch, should be able to put me in my citrus range depending on what type of health I'm at, which I don't think I'll always be at full versus that thing, but either way it should be fine. Mons like Mienshao I am able to take a hit from. I'm pretty sure I'm still 2 KO by Mienshao, but overall that's not too big of a deal because Mienshao is just a mon that I am able to check on my team decently well. However, I'm still pretty nervous about it because my counters to it can get worn down pretty easily if he does play well. This thing just kind of has good coverage for his team, and it's a good rocker plus a good mon to beat Tapu Koko. Not really much to say there. Masquerain we have right here. It's Sticky Webs, Ice Beam, Hidden Power, Fire, and Bug Buzz with max special attack, max speed. I did actually just have max speed in the game. I didn't have this weird IV shenanigans right here because my Jenner Aaron, who is a god, was able to basically just get that all good for me, so bless him. But yeah, you guys can see I have the Sticky Webs. Sticky Webs are just pretty cool this game. Not only does this thing kind of pressure out his defoggers, barring the Tapu Koko, which I don't think will be defogged this week, but it also has pretty good matchups versus basically everything else. Bug Buzz is good versus mons like I guess the Greninja. It's one of the best mons versus that. Since I do have my Focus Sash, it's not my main check, but it is something that can do pretty well in that matchup. So very excited to be using this Masquerain. I haven't used it at all before in any game ever. So yeah, pretty interesting to see how this thing works. Intimidate is also pretty nice. I feel as Intimidate will allow me to check the Mega Scizor a lot better than I would anyways without Intimidate. Obviously, this thing got pretty good, I guess, buffs this gen. I don't really know. I didn't draft it, probably never will again, so gonna be cool to use it this one battle. Next one we have is going to be our Assault Vest Kieran Black with Ice Beam, Hidden Power, Fire, Earth Power, and Dragon Claw. Now, the reason I have Dragon Claw over Fusion Bolt is because I was kind of worried about the Gudra, just a little bit. Also, I wanted something that could hit the Seismitoad if you wanted to pivot into that. In hindsight, probably Fusion Bolt should have just come anyways, but either way, it's totally fine. This Assault Vest is there so that I'm able to take hits from literally everything on his team. Nothing can OHKO me except for the Mienshao, and this thing can just beat everything else down. Take one hit, possibly, and then just get off a kill, which is nice. However, I do want to keep this thing kind of healthy too, so Alright, sorry we got nice and interrupted there, but yeah, as I was saying, this thing is just a really good breaker for his entire team. Takes hits from just about everything that I want it to. And overall, I'm pretty cool with this thing on my team. Now, next one we have is going to be our Azumarill. Just kind of go through this real quick. We got Play Rough, Aqua Jet, Liquidation, and Power Punch. The reason I have this set is because 1, I can check Greninja. 2, I got Aqua Jet for basically everything really good on his team. I was going to bring Belly Drum, but I can't really bring that and like feel like that comfortable because he still has the Seismitoad, which could be Water Absorb, Sludge Wave. Still a Scizor, which is pretty annoying versus that too, because Bullet Punch does a lot anyways, even though I do not actually have the weakness to it because I'm Water type, obviously. And Aqua Jet isn't doing the damage I need back. Plus, I didn't think that I would get too many setup opportunities this game, so I thought that just running Power Punch would be a little bit better. Kepi Berry is nice, obviously, for Gunk Shot from Greninja, as well as Sludge Wave from mons like I guess the Goodra and the Seismitoad were the main mons that I was too afraid of with that set. I've also got it for the Mienshaw's Poison Jab. This thing is overall just really nice versus his entire team. Next one we have is going to be our Iron Head Energy Ball, Fire Punch Wish Jirachi with 220 speed, so I'm able to outspeed the Gliscor, 20 special attack, 4 defense, and then all this other good shit in our attack. Life Orb this week. Now, I didn't expect him to bring the Heatran at all this game, as I was saying, so I didn't bother prepping for it. I thought that even if it came, I would be pretty well prepared for it. I didn't think that it would have that much leeway versus my team, or the rest of my team, that is, except for maybe the Masquerain, but I wasn't too worried about that at all, just saying. This thing was overall pretty nice because I thought with Sticky Webs I'd be able to pressure a lot of his team. It's also a nice lure for mons like the Greninja and the Seismitoad with my Energy Ball if he thinks that me being physical is just going to be like me being obviously just that physical. But main reason I have this on the team is because I'm feeling pretty threatened versus the Scizor, and this thing's less obvious check than Emboar, but it's still a pretty good check because I am able to just come in on this thing and OHKO it with a Fire Punch most of the time. And if I don't OHKO it, I should be able to get off enough damage with other mons on my team to where I am able to put it in range of the Fire Punch. So this thing is just a good set overall versus him. And last one we have is going to be our Stone Edge Toxic Earthquake Ice Fang Aerodactyl. Now, last second, just saying, I took off Aerial Ace for Toxic, and this was a really dumb move. Definitely should have just kept Aerial Ace on this thing. Would have made this game a lot easier, I'd say. Probably would have just been a much smarter bring, but I took it off for Toxic because I overpredicted on whether he'd bring Mienshao or not, and how I felt versus Mienshao. Definitely smarter bring would have just been Aerial Ace, but you guys can see this thing is just overall pretty good versus him. Really good coverage versus his entire team. So yeah, that's gonna be our team this week. Pretty offensive team overall. So hopefully we are able to play like to such an ability where the offense is able to come through. And yeah, let's just get right into the battle. Alright, so here we are with the battle, and as you guys can see, my opponent, Greg, has brought the exact team that I was expecting. Mega Scizor, Gliscor, Greninja, Mienshao, Tapu Koko, and the Seismitoad. Now, Mienshao was the only one that was a little bit of a toss-up for me this game as to whether we bring it or not. Overall, I feel like I'm not as prepped for it as I could be, considering I did get rid of the Aerial Ace on the Aerodactyl, but everything else I feel fine versus on his team. I feel like I have the right prep for it. I'm expecting Gliscor to be bulkier this game too, which we'll see how that works out for me exactly. But let's just make sure that there's no volume for this, and let's just get right into it. So you guys can see I lead off with my Masquerain because overall versus this team, unless he leads with Koko, I've got a good lead matchup versus literally everything. I am able to just get up my Sticky Webs versus whatever, and if he leads Koko, I'm just going to switch out right away because I don't want to get taunted. I feel like he would have taunt this game if he is going to lead off with the Koko, expecting my Masquerain to come. Either taunt or defog on something, and I was hoping kind of that it would be defog on the Tapu Koko because that does actually get affected by the Sticky Webs rather than Gliscor. However, either way, it was totally fine with me. Now, on this turn, I'm actually not going to go right for Sticky Webs. I'm just going to go right for an HP Fire because I felt, okay, I've got more speed than this thing no matter what. He's probably just going to U-turn here, trying to get rid of my Focus Sash. No matter what, getting off big damage on this thing with a Hidden Power Fire is pretty good for my Azumarill. Pretty good for other mons on my team too, especially my Kieran Black as well. So I'm just gonna get up that big damage, and yeah, very satisfied with the damage overall because that U-turn doesn't do very much because we do have the Intimidate off, but it actually does enough damage to the point where I realize that it is a more offensive set. So that's something I probably should have calced more in this game. Now he goes right into this Gliscor, and I'm like, okay, so this thing is definitely going to just be a Stone Edge set. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go right into my my Azumarill. This isn't a Z captain on his team, so I felt totally fine versus this thing. And now you guys are going to see he pulls out the Sky Attack. And at this point in the battle, I expected him to switch out with this Gliscor right here because it would just be overall his best play to switch out in my opinion, because he can't kill me with anything on his team, or anything that this thing might run. Even Poison Jab doesn't kill me because of my GBA berry. Only scenario where he does kill me with anything is if he is Sky Attack, Power Herb, Gliscor, and I definitely didn't expect that at all. I definitely, like, looking at this battle, I should have expected more like heat techs from Greg right here, because he is known for running pretty cool sets like this. And this is just amazing prep on his part because he knew that a situation like this would happen, where he'd be able to get a Sky Attack off on my Azumarill and just kill it right off, because this thing is like 130, 140 base attack. I'm pretty sure that's how much power the Sky Attack has. I'm not sure if it's 130 or 140, but either way, unless it gets a very low roll, it should be able to just kill my Azumarill from here. So huge prep to Greg, huge props to Greg, because this is amazing prep on his part. He's going to go for the Sky Attack, going to get that power up right here, going to get the Power Herb as we're going to see comes out, and he's going to miss the attack, and I'm just going to fire off a Play Rough expecting the Seismitoad to come in. So yeah, that's huge. Really just so unfortunate for Greg, and especially considering that this is a very important game too. Like that just really blows overall. I go for Aqua Jet here, not wanting to take more damage. He makes a good read on that, goes into his Seismitoad right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go right into my Masquerain before he's able to get up the Stealth Rocks. This will mean that I'm able to take a hit from the Scizor if he does decide to switch out right here, expecting maybe a Grass move, which I don't even know if this thing gets, but either way, totally fine with that. I'm just going to go right for my Sticky Webs here. I figured now would be a perfect time. Considering the Sky Attack, I'm not sure if he'll be Defog on the Gliscor. And since I've seen Sky Attack and Stone Edge, I thought he might need more coverage for other mons on my team. But even if that didn't come, that was totally fine. He makes a pretty expected switch into the Coco here, but there was not really much I could do there. As now I'm going to get up the Sticky Webs and hope he doesn't have Defog. If he does, that's not the end of the world for me, because he does get rid of the rocks for me. And I'm able to come back in with Masquerain later, more than likely, but I do have a designated switch into this thing, and it is my Nidoking right here. So he's going to go right for the Brave Bird, and this is when I was like, oh shit. So his plan to beat the Nidoking isn't going to be a Guardian of Alola set, but it's going to rather be a Flying Z Brave Bird set, more than likely. So that does quite a bit of damage to me, just about enough to do a KO, I feel, but we do have the Citrus Berry. So now I do actually force him to go for the Z move, but I'm going to bait that out right here and go right into my Masquerain. I felt it wouldn't be that useful anymore now that Sticky Webs are up, and I'm not sure what his Defogger is going to be, but yep, Masquerain is going to come right in here, get off the Intimidate, which is really nice for me, and yeah, so this thing is just going to go right for the Z move, so pretty cool that we were able to bait that out right there. Obviously, like, it was a pretty expected play. He didn't really lose much by going for it, but if we did bait it out, then that was good for my Nidoking. So Nidoking is still has used this game, which is always really nice. Super Sonic Sky Sword is going to come out right here, and we are just going to let our Masquerain drop right here. Didn't do too much this game, just got off the webs, got off big damage on Scizor. Probably going to be the last time I use Masquerain, but yep, hope you got a good time, buddy. Anyways, then yeah, now Nidoking is going to come in because I don't want to take any hit from this thing, since 1, I've got the Intimidate off, 2, I want to get at my rocks. If I went into the Aerodactyl, I could have done that, but he just gets a free switch into the Seismitoad anyways. So either way, if he's Defog on his Gliscor, I'm going to be pressured into, like, by something anyways, like no matter what, to get the Defog off for him. So Stealth Rock's going to come out here. If I clicked the Ice Beam there, that would have been an amazing play. But unfortunately I don't, because I don't have those balls. I definitely considered it, but I just couldn't do it right there, and he goes for the Defog, and I'm like, oh shit. So not only are my rocks not up, but also my my Sticky Webs too, so that's really unfortunate, but I just knew I was gonna have to stay in here, click the Ice Beam, because if he did go for Defog, then that was fine with me. If he just kill me off right there too, that was also pretty fine with me. I had other checks to the Coco with the Sticky Webs up, so like I was totally fine with that. But yeah, now that is just really annoying for me. Scizor is going to come in, and I'm like, okay, I think I just die to a Bullet Punch from here. But even if I do, like, it's still worth it for me to get at my rocks right here. I am pretty bulky, so I'm not sure if I die or not. But I should have considered that, like, he would be a more offensive set, but he does just decide to pull a double. Probably expecting me to go into my Jirachi right there, which would have been a good play on his part. But Earth Power is going to come out right here, as I'm just deciding, okay, I want to just sack this Nidoking off. I'm not too, like, fond of it in the rest of this game, which might have been a mistake, because I kind of feel like I might have needed this thing to take a hit from the Mienshao, but I don't know. I don't feel like that was, like, that necessary for me. the overall course of this game. Earth Power is going to come out right here once again. Obviously, I do still have my Azumarill, which I probably wouldn't have if he landed the Sky Attack, so definitely going to change the way this game plays out. As Nidoking is just going to drop here, but we do get off big damage on the Seismitoad, meaning that he is now in range of my Mienshao. Not my Mienshao, my Aerodactyl. So Aerodactyl is just going to come right in here. I didn't want to go into anything else. Didn't feel like anything else would be like very comfortable coming on this thing. Maybe I could have gone into my Jirachi right here and just gone for Energy Ball, but I didn't know if he was Scarf Mienshao yet or not, so I didn't really want to play with that too much at this point in the game. So Aerodactyl is going to come in, just click the Earthquake, and I knew this would just kill from here. Earthquake's going to go, I'm like stumbling on my words, I'm sorry. Earthquake's going to come out right here, and we're just going to do a big damage to the Seismitoad and get rid of it. So that's pretty nice for me because obviously, Seismitoad was the biggest defensive threat to my Aerodactyl, but here I'm going to make a stupid play, and he makes a good play. He knew I didn't have Aerial Ace because I went for Earthquake on the Seismitoad as opposed to it, so I'm going to go for Earthquake here, but this tells me two things. One, he is Life Orb, two, he's not Scarf, so I guess it only really tells me one thing, but him not being Scarf is big, however, him being Life Orb is still pretty problematic. For a few reasons, because he's just able to get rid of my Aerodactyl. If I had Aerial Ace, I'd obviously just be able to kill it from there, and probably actually just win the game from there, because Aerodactyl should have just been able to kill everything else on his team, but unfortunately, I did get rid of that last second, and it makes the hacks from the Azumarill matter a whole lot more. Now he goes into the Greninja here, Rocks dig into him, and I'm still Kevia Berry, so I was fine taking that Gunk Shot, but he does unfortunately miss, which is huge. When I say win the game, he obviously still had the Scizor, but I did have my Jirachi, which probably could have just won the game from there as well, because it did have the right coverage for that with the Energy Ball and all that. So the Scizor is going to come out right here. I didn't know if I'd be able to kill this thing off with the Aqua Jet right here. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to go right for a I believe I'll go for Power Punch on this turn. Yeah, expecting him to roost and be more defensive. As we'll see actually right here that he is not that set, and he actually just goes right for a Curse. So that's a pretty heat set on his part. Curse Bullet Punch is pretty nice versus my team, just for the coverage. U-Turn is also pretty good too. But guys, we'll see he is a more offensive set, which means this Liquidation is going to do a shit ton. So Azumarill definitely did a lot more work this game than it probably should have. And at this point, I'm just like, okay, well, I don't know if Aqua Jet will kill from there. Definitely probably would have, but I didn't really want to risk it. I have no reason to because just the way that the rest of my team is. If he goes for the only way he's able to kill my Jirachi at this point is if he goes for Bullet Punch and then comes into Koko. So wasn't worried about him pivoting into Koko and then trying to win with the Scizor that much. Because I'm just able to Fire Punch right here, get off big damage, and yep, get rid of the Scizor. And yeah, so you guys can probably kind of see how this game's gonna play out from here. He has one Mon left, and it's the Koko. Still got my Assault Vascurum in the back at full health. 75% coming out of rocks with the Earth Power. So this was overall kind of a bullshit game. The Azumarill play wouldn't have mattered too much if I kept the Aerial Ace on my Aerodactyl. I think I definitely would have still won from there if I just played a couple of turns a little bit smarter, and Greg didn't play as smart as he did, but he played very well this game. And overall, it feels really bad to have robbed this win from him with the Sky Attack miss. There are definitely ways I could have won, but they're not really worth getting into because they're so minimal. I feel like in just about every scenario he would have won this game if he did not miss that Sky Attack right there. So big unfortunate for him. So good for us because we are able to make the playoffs if we do beat Danza next week. However, now for him, it's basically just a GG at this point in terms of getting into playoffs because of obviously just how bullshit that all was. So I feel really bad about that because I think he definitely deserved playoffs a little bit more than me because he is obviously a veteran coach. Didn't make playoffs last season, definitely put in the work this season too. Yeah, hopefully, like, in honor of him, we're able to make playoffs by beating Danza next week. But overall, I feel like he definitely should have gotten this win, so I feel very bad about that. Definitely not going to try to make any excuses for how I could have won this game because I really probably wouldn't have any other way. That's disrespectful because Greg's such a good pal of mine, and beating him like this was definitely pretty sad for me. I definitely wanted to beat him in a more clean way, but that's just how it is sometimes. I guess that's all I can say. He was a good sport about it. He was definitely sad because, like, obviously it would be sad if you get hacks out of playoffs like this. But yeah, I just feel really bad about all this overall. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. I guess I'll see you next week versus Danza, which will determine if we make playoffs or not. Hopefully Deeves can lose next week too, because that would also help us a lot. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this, as I said, and I will see you guys next time.